Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm going to talk about the private finance for energy efficiency, aka PF4EE instrument that some of you may know. As a first step, you all know the LIFE program, of course. But what is characteristic of the program is that it is mainly composed of grants. Out of the 3.5 billion euros dedicated to the LIFE program, though, there is a very tiny part which is composed of financial instruments, namely two of them, the NCFF, Natural Capital Financing Facility, for 75 million euros, and the private finance for energy efficiency, endowed with 80 million euros. So all in all, it's a global share of 150 million out of the 3.5 billion, so it's not that much. Now the rationale behind this, why would we provide financial instruments rather than grants? There are a number of reasons, but among them the most important ones maybe are that the nature of financial instruments are revolving by nature, because contrary to grants which you offer, once you offer the money, it is offered, you don't get it back, of course. While for financial instruments, in case of successful projects, there is always a possibility to recover the money through repayments and to use again this money for the same purpose or more ambitious purposes. And there's another rationale behind, is that normally you use financial instruments if you identify a potential market but existing market gaps. I will get to this later on, but this is really the case on energy efficiency. So why energy efficiency? Well, mainly because it's one of the European Union priorities, one of the three pillars, let's say, of the climate and energy framework, the energy union, so-called energy union, which sets targets for 2020 and 2030 in terms of greenhouse gas emission reductions. We should aim at minus 40% in 2030 compared to 2005. In terms of share of renewable energy, we should reach by 2030 27% of renewable energy in the energy mix at global level, at EU level, and the energy efficiency that is currently setting a target at 30% improvement compared to 2005. But this target is currently under discussion. It might be increased. We will see what will be the outcome of the discussions between the Parliament and the Council and the Commission on this. There's a fourth pillar, which is the interconnection between the member states, but it's not of our primary concern here. Going back to the PF4EE, how is it structured? So as I told you, we dedicated 80 million as an envelope for the pilot phase from 2014 to 2017. Okay, so half of the whole period of life. We identify the market gap clearly on energy efficiency, because it is proven now that there is a potential for massive reductions in the energy bill, but the gains that you receive are spread around a very long period, sometimes 15 to 20 years. So the payback period is quite long in financial terms, and you need to trigger the market with some incentives to attract financial institutions and to help them to propose a dedicated product. Why a dedicated product? Because energy efficiency is characterized by a lot of different technologies, different techniques, different materials for refurbishment. It is not the same to renovate a residential building and offices or a production facility. The sectors are widely different, and the final recipients are diverse as well. You can have, of course, private individuals, but also housing associations, small and medium-sized enterprises, corporates, big companies, private, public sectors, and even energy service companies. I don't know if you know about this, but this is basically companies, other companies that are created and offer you the structuring of the financing for the refurbishment of your building, whatever it is, and get paid thanks to the savings that the renovation generates. So of course, for each one of those specific stakeholders, you need to have a targeted instrument. And this is not straightforward as such. You need some capacity building, you need some training. And this is exactly what PF4EE offers as one of the free instruments that are bundled into a single brand. So the free instruments, the first one is what we call the expert support facility. So it's technical assistance, basically. It is offered by a board of consultants, and it helps the financial intermediaries, which are the banks, basically, to help them tailor-made and customize the products that they will offer to the clients. Because, of course, we use intermediaries. The European Investment Bank will not go directly to final beneficiaries and to clients and offer them a loan. No, what they will do, they will offer a loan, this is the number 3, to the financial intermediaries, which will in turn on-lend the money to the final recipients. And why do they provide those loans? Because the European Commission offers a guarantee, a first loss piece guarantee, which is called the risk sharing facility. I'm sorry for the acronyms, they're all alike, but that's life. And this guarantee covers the loans on a case by case up to 80%. So if you have, in case of a default, you can cover up to 80% of the default loan. Of course, this is capped at around 20% of the whole portfolio. You cannot guarantee the whole portfolio, but you expect that normally the default rates among the different member states, they can vary between 4 to 10 or 15%, but you won't get 100% default. Otherwise, you would not have financial activity in your country. So those 3 elements are offered either by the European Investment Bank or through life by the European Commission to the financial intermediary that in turn goes to specific energy efficiency loans to its clients. So what is the state of play now? The first year has been, there was a kind of rather slow takeoff. The first year people were applying, taking extra information to see whether it was worth it or not. But for the following years, each year we had 3 deals because we have limited on purpose to 1 deal per country. It's only 1 financial intermediary per country for the pilot phase. Why? Because we don't know what is the appetite in the different markets. There are 28 member states in Europe. We don't know what is the state of play in each one of those markets. So we limited on purpose to 1 per country. We had an initial target of between 6 and 10 countries to sign operation. At the end of the year, we have signed 7, the 7th being Croatia with the Zagrebačka banka. It was signed on the 5th of December. We offered a guarantee of 6.4 million euros that would provide EIB loans worth of 40 million euros. So that's a significant portfolio for a significant number of refurbishments. And we expect the energy savings. I'll let you see the figures. We will see, of course, at the end of the program whether we achieve these or not. But there are also 2 ongoing deals in Greece and Cyprus that are about to be signed, so we should reach a target of 9 deals. And thanks to the approximately 48 million euros guaranteed from the existing projects signed, we have a leverage of approximately 11 because we have leveraged 540 million euros of EIB loans, okay, plus the financial intermediary loans that consist at minimum 25% of the whole portfolio. So it's quite a lot of money. So in Croatia, the specific deal that was signed is addressing mainly building renovation and, as it is stated, marginally production facility for SMEs and corporates. The signing period currently should be ending at the end of 2019. That means that the whole portfolio should be committed by then. We will see if there is a need for an extra period at this time. And we expect a leverage of 6 on energy efficiency and 8 if you include the participation of Zava Banka. What are the achievements and the remaining challenges, and why are we made a kind of exercise of the lessons learned, because as I have told you, this is a pilot phase, and we wanted to know whether it was successful, it was working well, and if it was worth continuing with the instrument. So there are a number of achievements. First of all, the leverage is much more than expected, and there is appetite in the market. As you can see, you have had 25 expressions of interest that led to 13 applications. So it's quite a number of financial institutions interested, and others have expressed informal interest, but they were blocked in the application process, of course, because you cannot have more than one financial institution per country. And this is one of the limitation, the deployment limitation that I underlined in the presentation. And we have also stressed the need for further technical assistance. As I told you, we had a slow takeoff period, and the first year we didn't do anything, and we realized that at local level there was a strong need for technical assistance. So what we have decided during the last life steering committee in November in Brussels was to offer a new envelope, a PF4EE 2. So the PF4EE 2 will cover years 2018 to 2020. It will be endowed with 75 million euros. But part of it, a larger share, will be offered for technical assistance. It won't be 3.2 million euros, such as in PF4EE1, but it will be significantly higher, maybe up to 10 million, we will see. And more important, we will relieve the condition of one bank per country. So that means that for PF4EE2, if there are financial institutions in Croatia that are interested to use this financial instrument, well, they could apply for the PF4EE2 when the call of expression of interest will be launched in 2018. But that's not all, because PF4EE1 is not fully emptied, it's not fully committed. There are 23.5 million that remains to be committed, and we will launch as well a call for expression of interest during this year, and we will extend the implementation period until the end of next year. And I would only like to mention the Smart Finance for Smart Buildings initiative, which is not through LIFE, but it is led by the Commission, by the Directorate General for Energy. And this is very complementary to PF4EE. PF4EE is mainly targeting businesses or housing associations, corporates, but not necessarily private individuals, private households. This will be the target of SFSB, and the scheme will be taking stock on the existing scheme of PF4EE. So it might be of interest, because now the Commission is trying to identify pilot countries to launch the instrument this year. So maybe there could be interest as well from public representatives from Croatia, and I invite you to get as much information as you would need on smart finance for smart buildings. And I will end my presentation just with concrete examples, because those are numbers and figures, and it's a little bit of, you don't necessarily see the results. a few days ago, I was in Lille, northern France, to attend the official signature of the last tranche of a loan to Université Catholique de Lille through PF4EE, which decided to use this money, 2.5 million euros, to fully renovate a building with adaptable, well, you see, all the latest technologies to have the closest to zero emissions building, coupled with production on site, with photovoltaic panels, and coupled with smart grid management, because what you consume and what you produce is directly managed through the smart grid and at the level of the whole university. Thanks to the 2.5 million loan from Crédit Coopératif, which is the partner in France for PF4EE, it has triggered 12 million of investment. And the work started last year, and it will be done and opening at the end of the year, maybe between September and December. So it can have really direct impact on students, researchers, all the users of this kind of building. And this is really, and it will remain in any case, a priority for the next commission by 2020.